You guys know the rules of Get Smarter Saturdays are so simple. They are so simple. The video cannot be too long. The video cannot be too boring. And by the end of it, we have to have learned something. Together, we're going to learn something here on Get Smarter Saturdays by watching Inside the Drug Crisis on China's Doorstep. That sounds fascinating. And I like Search Party. Fuck it. Insta-click. What is the drug crisis on China's doorstep?
In January 2024, police stopped a man in Porto Torres, Italy. In his bag was over 1 kilogram of heroin, specifically white heroin.
Okay.
The purest kind that only comes from one place, the region where Thailand, Laos, and Myanmar converge.
That's where the purest white heroin comes from? God forbid a man make a living. I didn't know that. The Golden Triangle. Okay, that's where that comes from. Pardon me for not being up to date on my drug lingo, okay?
A few months later, India's Coast Guard found over 5 kilograms of methamphetamine.
Is there an Asian Walter White in the Golden Triangle cooking up the purest fucking white heroin? Is that the story here?
A few months later, India's Coast Guard found over 5 kilograms of methamphetamine on this boat registered in Myanmar. And 3 months after that, authorities rescued more than 7,000 people from a cyber scam center, also in Myanmar.
Okay.
They give us client number. We make relationship with him. When client say, I love you, then we start wash his brain.
Jesus.
Right now, a flood of drugs, crime, and other...
It's insane how people are so desperate for human connection that they can... that they can fall in love with someone forced to work in a scam center. You would think that their riz wouldn't be that high when they're like locked into a factory building and forced to scam you. But somehow people feel like they're in true love.
illicit materials are coming from Myanmar, which the Organized Crime Index now ranks as the new crime capital of the world.
Myanmar.
It's a shocking reversal for a country that just a few years ago was being celebrated for its democratic transformation.
The country has fallen deeper and deeper into a dystopia. The economy has collapsed. The country has become a source of refugees and misery. But along the way, also of a lot of criminal activity.
So why is so much crime concentrated in Myanmar? And is anyone looking for a solution, or are they making it worse?
I would like to know. Tell me, Search Party.
Many of Myanmar's problems began before it was an independent country.
Gold?
For more than 50 years, it was a British colony called Burma. During World War II, it was the site of vicious fighting.
Blasting the Jap with bomb and shell, they're holding open the Burma Road of the air.
In 1948, the Burmese won
Chavs
independence,
were involved?
but the new government faced a challenge. Its people were divided into several ethnic groups, and many wanted autonomy. Some formed ethnic militias. Then after just a decade, the Burmese military toppled the government, seized control, and started fighting the militias.
Okay.
This conflict would last for decades and would make it impossible for Burma to build a legitimate economy.
Yeah, it tends to
It
be
should be one of the richest countries in Southeast Asia because in many ways its natural endowment is quite spectacular.
Sean Turnell is an economist and former advisor to Myanmar's opposition leader, Aung San Suu Kyi.
Unfortunately, though, it's just fallen by the wayside because of these constant interventions of the military. And they bring into the country a very doctrinaire version of state socialism. And so Myanmar becomes one of the poorest countries on the earth.
In the absence of a legitimate economy, many Burmese people instead made a living in the illegal economy. In the remote Shan state, that meant growing opium.
Okay.
It's the main ingredient in heroin. And up here, far from the military's control, drug lords grew a ton of it. Opium production picked up as heroin became more popular. Shan State, along with parts of Laos and Thailand, became known as the Golden Triangle,
Okay.
the most productive area for
said.
opium in the world behind Afghanistan. The opium trade added fuel to Burma's conflict. The military government allowed proxy militias to sell opium abroad in exchange for their loyalty. while ethnic militias taxed or trafficked opium and used the revenue to buy weapons and raise armies.
Okay, it's a virtuous cycle.
In the jungles of Burma is an army, 15,000 strong. These men are training for combat like soldiers everywhere. Only this is a private army.
These are the kind of manufacturing jobs the USA needs back. Let's get into opium. Okay, my fellow Americans. First of all, I'm noticing a couple things. They say it's sad and bad, but this army is singing. They're having a good time. We could have private militias rolling through the streets singing beautiful songs. America the Beautiful or something, while selling opium. I'm just saying, it doesn't sound that crazy.
By drug money.
I just want to be part of something.
In the 2000s, the ethnic militias, along with economic sanctions imposed by other countries, pressured the military to make some reforms. It released political prisoners like Aung San Suu Kyi, and even allowed her party, the National League for Democracy, to run in elections.
Okay.
In 2015, the NLD won a majority, and Aung San Suu Kyi became the de facto leader of the country, since renamed Myanmar.
Okay.
Her government worked to reduce violence and crime. It even reduced opium production. For the first time in decades, elected leaders were making progress in Myanmar.
Okay.
But the military wouldn't let them get far.
This woman is recording a workout video, all while a military coup is going on behind her.
This was crazy.
More episodes of SP means more research.
This is like an iconic video of the time. Like when they do a look back at the 2020s or whatever, like this is going to be an iconic video of a woman doing a live stream dance while there's a military coup live behind her. It's a metaphor for RA. It's like it's such a powerful video unintentionally.
Who is going on behind her?
More episodes of SP means more research, which means traversing the internet, which means spam texts and more spam emails. But I stay protected thanks to my account with Incogni. And I'm thrilled to have
Incogni will stop the coup, I believe they're saying. If you are experiencing a coup in your country, get Incogni and you will stop it.
The NLD is in power, but the military is safe on the internet. Incogni is the way to do it. So thanks again to Incogni for supporting our work. Now I'm going to take you back to Myanmar. The NLD is in power, but the military is not far away.
Democracy comes, but the overall constitution still allowed immense say of the military. They completely controlled not only their own budget and all the other security forces like the police.
This is what I thought would happen in Nepal, and I guess technically still could. Not even technically, it just could. But this is what I thought would happen. That's why I was so surprised it didn't work out that way, at least initially.
Police and the courts and all that, but also an ability to intervene at any point of their choosing.
The military chose February 1st, 2021.
They appear to have moved today to neutralize the government.
Aung San Suu Kyi and other civilian leaders have been detained.
At least 90 people have been shot dead in Myanmar.
After the military seized back power, some of Aung San Suu Kyi's supporters formed a shadow government with an armed wing. Then the military launched attacks all over the country, reigniting Myanmar's civil war.
Another civil war.
This time, it's deadlier than ever. In 4 years, the war has killed 75,000 people and displaced 3 million. In 2025, a massive earthquake struck Myanmar, destroying what little economy there was left. Now, there are hundreds of armed groups fighting in this war.
Dude, an earthquake on top of your second civil war is fucking crazy. That's why I'm always like, this is probably such a crazy non sequitur, and it's not important. And I'm not knocking you if you believe, but it makes it so hard for me to be like, really, you think there's a God watching? And like, really, like God is like watching Myanmar and going, yeah, let me throw a fucking earthquake in there. It'll make them, it's like, I find it all to be so. But again, I understand that I'm not a Redditor. Okay. I'm not tipping Fedora. I don't care. You're allowed to believe what you want. That's for me personally. It's like, come on.
But they mostly fall into 3 categories.
However, I do want to say, obviously, what I'm trying to imply is that God is not real when it comes to natural disasters and countries. He is real when it comes to my parlays. He does care who wins. And the side that prays more will get their team to win. He watches all sports. He's deeply involved. I just want to be clear, that is 100% true. I don't want to downplay that. The athletes that thank God the most will have the better careers. That's just a fact. That's just like, He is involved, but he's just not much of a natural disaster type guy. He's not a big
military and its proxy militias, the pro-democracy rebels and allied ethnic militias, and the ethnic militias not aligned with either side. Each of these groups control chunks of territory, where they are protecting and even relying on criminal enterprises to stay in the fight. In Shan State, the military and militias are once again turning to opium, but so are armed groups in the north and west. The result is more than twice as much opium is being produced in Myanmar.
The thing I think about when I see this, I think like young people armed to the teeth, fighting for their lives, death and destruction across the country. And I think of how many fake revolutionaries we have online in America who like, they can't even fucking answer a phone call. You can't even talk on the phone. And you're like, no, but seriously though, I'm gonna pick up an AK-47 and go across this war-torn country and fight. Like, let's be fucking real. Let's be real, dude. You're not even gonna take a manufacturing job in a stable society, let alone fight a war in an unstable one. Social anxiety is real. I got too much social anxiety to assault the Capitol. Listen, I want to coup, I really do, but like my ADHD makes it so I can't fixate on one Capitol building at the time.
And west. The result is more than twice as much opium is being produced in Myanmar today than before the coup, and twice as much opium as Afghanistan, making it the world's leading.
Bro, I gotta say, if there's one thing these roving bands of ethnic militias are good at, it is increasing the output of opium. This is, I mean, if Tesla could do this with car sales, it would be one of the greatest business turnarounds of all time. They're at least running an operation that is growing YOY pretty good. Is opium the main source in copium? Your question is stupid, but it's making me think of militias in America and they're harvesting and producing copium instead. That's like our main export becomes copium for the world. It's like social media copium.
Today than before the coup, and twice as much opium as Afghanistan, making it the world's leading producer.
Do you guys think, you know what's
militias
crazy?
In Shan and Kachin State
is like the worldwide market for copium took a generational tumble when Silk Song actually came out. Like the copium prices are in the floor. It's a complete destruction of the economy. Copium was like relying on a steady supply of Silk Song fans inhaling it to keep the demand up. And once it actually came out, it's like it just ruined that economy. It's like soybeans to China. They're not buying anymore and it's ruining American farmers. Copec is ruined. Yeah, my copium futures contracts got destroyed when Silk Song actually released.
Are also fostering a new drug trade. Synthetic drugs, particularly methamphetamine. Drug lords are importing precursor chemicals and equipment from China and India to make pills, like ketamine, and this caffeine meth combo called yaba.
Yaba? They're mixing caffeine with meth?
Like ketamine, and this caffeine meth combo called...
Dude, I gotta say, for a war-torn, maybe nominally socialist country, they got capitalism down for drugs, bro. They're innovating. They're increasing year-over-year production. They're increasing output. They're adding new variations and flavors for market demand. I mean, there's a hustle. They're girl bossing, bro. Yaba? Yaba's a good brand name. I want to pop a Yaba on my way to work. A little caffeine with your meth? It's got a red pill. This is branding, dude. This is good. What was the other one?
From China and India to make pills, like ketamine. And this caffeine meth combo called yaba.
I feel like they're not making enough ketamine because I look at this picture.
India to make pills, like ketamine.
I look at this picture and like, this is Elon Musk's daily dose. This is probably not enough for Elon to get through a week. So they need to, they're very low on the ket production is all I got to say. Yaba, it seems like they're good.
And this caffeine meth combo called yaba. Now Myanmar is the leading producer of synthetic drugs too. But not every group relies on drugs. Both the military and militias are illegally mining jade.
Jade?
It's a precious stone found in the north of Myanmar.
Jade.
So many mines are popping up there that the land is literally collapsing.
Very few survived the initial landslide.
Jesus
More than
Christ.
250 people died in similar accidents in Myanmar's jade mines last year.
Armed groups are profiting by selling the jade to customers in China and India. Despite the war, 70% of the world's jade now comes from Myanmar. The military and militias are also profiting from illegal gold mines, rare earth mineral mines, and timber. Anything valuable in Myanmar, they're selling off. But some groups are profiting by bringing a new criminal enterprise into Myanmar.
The buildings you can see behind me, that's one of maybe up to 30 scam compounds.
It's a multi-billion-dollar crime industry.
The scam phone call.
They persuade people all over the world to part with their savings.
Online scam centers were originally formed by criminal groups in China. But when the Chinese government cracked down, many fled across the border to Myanmar. There, they found the military and some militias were willing to protect them in exchange for a cut of their profits. Once protected, scam centers spread along the Thai border and further inland. Now, scam centers are flourishing.
Dude, I wonder if this is the group that got my Twitter hacked. I guess not. Probably not. Probably just a dude, but that's crazy. Kit Boga? Kit Boga's the one-man warrior against all these dots. There is one man in the West that is standing against this scam call invasion. It's Kit Boga. I have seen, like, Ari's a big fan of Kit Boga's videos, and I often hear her listening to his videos and laughing her ass off. And it's crazy how good he is at what he does. Although now I feel kind of weird about it now that I think about it, because, you know, in my mind, everyone that he's scamming is like doing it for their own profit. But now I'm picturing someone chained to a desk with a gun pointed at them that's like desperately trying to get this scam done. And, you know, I don't want to think about that. That's not going to cross my mind listening to Kit Boga. But at the end of the day, I mean, wait, people are going to fight back against scammers. Scamming's not good. It's just crazy. You should watch Jim Browning. He does insane investigations and targets the people at the top. Sounds fucking based. I got to say, totally unrelated, but speaking of someone who does good journalism, targets people at the top, big shout out yet again to Pablo Torre, bro. He followed me on social media because he did an interview with Lena Khan, and then all the comments were about how this is such Atrioc bait. And I guess he wanted to find out who the fuck I was. So he followed me on social media, and then I messaged him and I was like, bro, legitimately, probably his investigation on the Clippers is the best piece of video journalism that I've seen in a long time. Like, it's very, very impressive how he laid it out in a way that makes the average person able to understand what goes on. I'm just a big fan of people taking good journalism and pairing it with understanding the internet age, understanding how to package things so people can understand it. I thought it was good. Yeah, whatever. I don't care if it was glaze. I was impressed. So I messaged him that. I was at a barbershop yesterday getting this haircut for the fucking Newsom thing. And I was talking to a guy, just a random fucking guy who's a sports fan. He was my barber. And he was telling me, man, same thing I'm feeling. If they don't punish the Clippers, then we're all just going to be fucking annoyed, pissed, and calling scam on everything. Like, it's going to be a huge fucking stink in the air forever. You have to punish the Clippers. You have to. You'd think a barber would be a fan of the Clippers. Okay. We're not doing pun humor. We're sticking to classy humor like coffee cow, and we're not doing puns. All right, continue. Sorry.
They're inland. Now, scam centers are flourishing. One study estimates Southeast Asia scam centers have swindled $75 billion out of people. And the UN estimates there are more than 120,000 people being forced to work in them. Many are among the millions in Myanmar displaced by the war.
I receive punch every day. We were working for 18 hours without salary.
Jesus.
They didn't allow us to contact our family.
Myanmar's military, ethnic militias, and armed groups are using all this crime to buy weapons and fuel the...
Okay, can I say? This just makes me think, like, people watch my Big A channel, they're like, it's too depressing. It's like, imagine the Big A channel from Myanmar, dude. Imagine if we had, like, constant war-torn strife, civil war, fucking earthquake on top of it. You know, it's like, relatively... our problems are solvable. They are big and they are difficult and they are thorny and but it is relatively good.
War. The victims, though, are all over the world. Ethiopians, Indonesians, even Brazilians have been rescued from scam centers. and over 40,000 Americans have been scammed out of $3.5 billion, all while heroin and meth floods foreign streets. Myanmar's neighbors, Thailand and India, are launching raids into Myanmar and even cutting power to the scam centers. But the rest of the world isn't taking much action.
Myanmar has been forgotten. And what worries me is that there's many other countries as well who just find Myanmar a nuisance.
One of those countries is the United States. In the 2020s, the US gave Myanmar more than $200 million a year to support refugee camps, pro-democracy organizations, and education. But in 2025, the Trump administration cut that aid down to just $4 million. And as the US steps away from Myanmar, China is stepping in. The scam centers are a big problem for China. Many of them target and even abduct Chinese citizens. An uproar erupted when this famous Chinese actor was rescued from one.
Oh, wow.
So China's backing some militias along its border who launch attacks and close the scam centers. But at the same time, China is supporting the militia's enemy, Myanmar's military. China's given the military fighter jets, drones, and missiles, and more than $3 billion in assistance. Supporting both sides is a way for China to protect its own interests. China relies on Myanmar to access the Indian Ocean and is getting the military and militias to protect a key oil pipeline.
Okay.
But it's also a way for China to keep Myanmar under its thumb. Southeast Asian countries are choosing between China and the US. While Myanmar is firmly on China's side, it could drift towards the US if pro-democracy militias win the war. So China's supporting anyone who will stop them. In August, China endorsed Myanmar's military's announcement that it would hold elections later this year. But it will ban the NLD, and so many view the elections as a sham, even a plan engineered by China. Ultimately, China wants to protect its own influence in Myanmar.
Previous winning. If you coup a party that won a democratic election, then host a new election where that party can't run. It's not a real election, obviously. Yeah, this is happening to a lot of small countries all over where they're having to force between this China-US Cold War power play, and they're all kind of getting screwed in the mix.
Even if it extends the war, the crime, and the suffering of a country whose crisis is only getting worse.
The military are hanging on by being especially brutal. They deliberately target civilian populations to spread the horror, to spread the terror. So I'm afraid there's more of that to come.
All right, thanks for watching another episode of Search Party. Our last episode on the mafia in Italian football did quite well. So if you're
I like that one.
New here, welcome to Search Party. We cover sports and geopolitics, as you found out today. We're going to be back in 2 weeks with another story. This one's a blend of sports and geopolitics.
I thought their best one was the one about those 24/7 Russian fake sports gambling farms, where it's just like people playing endless soccer. that was so somebody can gamble on it in a different country. That was fucking crazy. That was good journalism. That was a peak video. Crazy that shit we don't even know about. So depressing. What else do we know about? Dude, this Aiden walked me through what's going on in Sudan on the Lemonade Stand Patreon. And again, it's not like an incredibly deep dive. It was high level. It's crazy. It's fucking horrifying. And this is like, there has been problems in Sudan for a very long time. I remember Darfur from growing up, but this is since 2023. And it's like, dude, the number, it's like 500,000 children starved to death. And that's not even including the war. That's not the people shot. That's not the people killed. It's just, it's insane. It's like, it's like a staggering amount of, so I don't know. It's, it's impossible to wrap your head around all of the suffering in the world. It's impossible.